mentioned out. Items that will not remain, you need to stay on top of this. I had a deal last year where there was actually some fencing that needed to be taken down, and the other agent called me and said, my seller doesn't want to do it. Well, let's revert back to the contract. What does the contract say? That's an item that's not to remain. Well, my seller doesn't want to do it. Now, my buyer at that point is now able to do a few things, right? First thing I'm going to say is consult an attorney because I don't get legal advice. That's not my, but I had to revert the other agent back. Now, can't remember the guy's name. Mr. John, what did it say in the contract? Can you pull the contract up you got it in front of your face? Well, it says that the fence isn't to remain. And that's what we need to stick to. That's what the contract says.
That's the value of discussing with Cameron's point out on the front end. Try to identify those things that could be debatable, or you don't want to have any assumptions.
Yeah.
Sellers are going to move something, so that's where you reform, or in the included or excluded. And just a reminder, what the seller has checked off on the property condition disclosure, what trumps it is the purchase sale agreement. And one of the top producing team leaders, I can speak with my client, I remember that gas log, very clearly says gas log included. Final walkthrough, buyer says gas log is not there, we're really looking forward to using that. I called in the final walkthrough step, the team leader said, I told my seller to put it in the property condition disclosure, he can exclude that from the sale. I said, well, I don't want to condescend to you, but he referred to line whatever, and it very clearly says there's no ambiguity that your seller has agreed to leave it. It was in the pre-printed language.
I was about to say that's pretty popular.
But the bottom line is, I knew that she knew, but I didn't condescend to her. I didn't blast her. Well, she did the wrong thing by having her seller call me. My agent told me I could keep those. They got sentimental value. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I can't speak for my buyer, but if they truly have sentimental value, once you go ahead and agree to pay something of equal or higher quality, and you can keep your sentimental value, as long as, because it's uncontrovertible language that you've agreed to include gas logs. You can't, it's there. Please read the contract that you agreed to with my buyer. And guess what? At closing, next day, they were there.
It says,
so, bottom line, we don't, again, not purpose to go in depth on that cover list, but that's a good point. Does that help you, Brandon, on clarification?
Yeah.
And it could be serial numbers. It could be as simple as more fair description on the Samsung refrigerator example I said versus the Frigidaire. But again, what did you hear at the tip? Make some notes when you're going through. You never know which ones are going to be asked.
If you put refrigerator in the kitchen in the contract instead of a specific refrigerator, what that seller could do is switch that refrigerator out, and then it becomes a he said, she said on which refrigerator was there at the time of the viewing.
And that's where you have dispute. That's where ambiguity comes in. So just help yourself to help everybody. That's clarity. So, okay, any question about that? Now we're in the presentation real quick. Tips, I've already given you some suggestions. In this scenario, this scenario would be is with your authorization, Michael, we know that this property that you're making an offer on is occupied. So my experience and my training indicates that what might help in a competitive environment is if you take a few moments to go ahead and put down some information about you, your solid ability to get the loan approval, what you like about you and your wife like about the property, something that complements the seller, because many times sellers have been known to want to agree to a buyer's terms to somebody they quote like, even at less money. And remember the example I gave? So if you have the time to do that now real quickly, or I could summarize things for you. And I got an example that I used in my multiple offer writing training guide. Be happy to give you some thoughts. This gives you a sample of real life letter from the heart that was used by an agent in our office after I taught this as a possible consideration. And you can see that was the impetus. I was told that caused the seller to agree to the buyer's offer that was less than competing offers. And the second one that's being passed around is the same example. So now you don't have to guess what it looks like. something like, it doesn't have to be exact, but if you have a person that doesn't have the time to have you type up, or they type up for you, thank you. Here's what I would do, Michael, how's it sound to you? I would share the offer to the listed agent, Michael, and I will then call the agent and I'll cover things like, Mr. Listed Agent, attached in dot loop, please see an offer to purchase 123 Main Street, Murfreesboro, your listing. Before you open up, let me go ahead and share with you a few of the things that I think your seller would really be interested in. Because I'm not going to assume that that seller knows how to present the best qualities of your offer as a buyer. Some of them don't even know a difference between the different risk factors for government loans and appraisals versus conventional loans, these kind of things. So you need to, without condescending, so what I'm doing is, Mr. Listed Agent, you'll see that Michael is gainfully employed. He's got stable employment. He's risen to a level of a supervisor. This is a first-time home purchase. His wife is a home schooling mother. They love their family, but she is not going to qualify. Michael was able to qualify on his own to get a FHA loan. And you'll see it is the 3.5% down payment. He's got good credit. Debt ratios are authorized for me to say. However, it's like one of anything. His supervisory position was attained not too long ago, so he's building up cash. I tell you what, very unusual. He's got enough for the down payment, enough for certain things like earnest money and so forth. But he does require your seller to contribute, and you'll see that $9,000 or whatever toward closing costs. So the net value, he's agreed to want to extend a true value, full value offer to your seller. So when you first open up, you see purchase price of $250,000. The net value, to be very upfront and honest with you, is really like $240,000, which is a true full. And in order to comfort you and your seller, attached, you'll find that I've included a CMA because he wanted to be protected. He didn't want to get in a situation where 3 weeks later the appraiser appraises it and would not support $250,000 artificially raised contract sale price. And he wanted to be alone this amount, and that could be a cause for termination. And he knew that your seller would want to be comforted. Is it likely, if I agree to Michael's offer, that it's going to has a reasonable chance of appraising to support the higher price, the $250,000, not the $240,000? And here's the attachment, which I think you'll agree. There's a really good chance because there's comparable sales in here, 3 or 4 of them that don't have some of the amenities that's sold, and that this house, and I feel comfortable as he does, and hopefully your seller will. Does that help? And you'll see that he chose consciously to accommodate. He was listening, as I was, when you said your seller would prefer what? An extended closing date? Fortunately, he had a situation where he could accommodate that. So 4 months out was probably a better consideration on that element versus other competing offers. Just wanted to point that out for you. Even though, frankly, his ideal is to close a month now. He's willing to take some pain in hopes that you would give consideration to perceive him as a very reasonable person to deal with from contract to closing and really want to work with us. You see kind of what the thought process is and how to present, but please don't just click share and don't explain, because that's what I see a lot of people do in other companies. Oh man, missed opportunities, and people I've taught in the streets. Lucky, geez, when you point this out, I thought my agent, when they wrote before I got in trying to get my license, was a good agent. And my husband and I, on the first house sale, she listed our house, and then a week before closing, all she did was we got a counter offer. Please electronically sign your signature as soon as possible. Let's say the offer, and indicate accepted as soon as practical. Send right back. Contract. They did that not knowing anything else, right? And the week before, termites were discovered. in the fine print, what does it say in there? In the fine print, and usually I highlight that just for future reference. Michael, as first-time home buyer, you're protected, the language here, unless it's modified by the seller. If active infestation is discovered, the seller, at seller's expense, is obligated, unless that language is changed, to have treatment. In this case, that the agent who was a home seller, she and her husband had to spend $800. That the agent should have counseled with them, hey, don't sign, let's go through what's being offered. And I want to let you know that hopefully there's not going to be active termites, but that's one area we have some risk. Do you want to incur that risk or not? And if so, go ahead and accept. But they didn't do that, so that's one thing. Now that I know that, I can see why you're giving that as a recommendation. That agents shouldn't casually just. Does that make sense? Everybody hear that? That's how you're going to earn respect. That's the buyer's referral teaching method, the ninja selling teaching, earn people's respect and such. So you got two examples on this. Does that give you enough? Yes.
I don't think we got that in that group.
Okay. I've got the one that. I'm sorry.
Okay. I didn't realize it.
Did you pass the?
Yeah, we only got this one.
Oh, okay.
They're different, yeah. I thought they might be the same.
I wiped out. Somebody's had the original. Just the name.
Probably the one with the.
Yeah, we just need the one that doesn't have pictures.
Okay.
Just in the back row.
Is it the one with this guy?
You got this one that doesn't have pictures?
Okay.
Yeah, I've got both of them. Yeah, I think it's just right here.
Oh, okay. I don't know why this one has the name. This is my client. You got it?
Good. Thank you.
Oh, well. Yeah, I intended to wipe out, and I did wipe out. I don't know why the name's on there, but yeah, Jennifer and Anthony Usery is one that my buyers, VA. And I got to tell you, the seller was home during the home inspection of this particular property. She came, and usually they're not home, she came up and told me with my buyers, these two people next, said, I want to let you know, 3 offers on my property was in the burn but your offer was the lowest because I like the sound of your buyers. Lucky the agent represented that you were very professional. I do the listing agent as well. And all this, I really wanted to sell something I really liked, and this helps. So that, I mean, it does work. It does not work when you have a vacant property owned by a bank or a relocation company. Then it's economics. They care less about the human side.
Yeah, he's not getting that.
Right. So I would not even consider Leonard Park on those foreclosures and stuff. But is this going to be a panacea or the guarantee? No. But anything that you could see, the tips I just gave you, any one of those might work. The attachment of the CNAs. Agents don't do that. Say, would it help you to see? Oh, geez, thank you. I had the agent say, lucky, I didn't have the time to do it myself. Thank you. Because that makes me feel better. For my seller, you know, that it's very possible that the elevated price will appraise. All right. Any questions, comments? Does that help you? You have a good understanding?
So you want to give people CMAs?
No, I want to, in cases where there's sufficient cause to have a seller wonder if my seller and my buyers are asking the seller to pay all or part of the closing costs, they have elevated.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, they may have used a CMA at the time of listing that may have been at the top of the listing period, and therefore if they're asked to go above, they may be wondering, geez, I don't see how it's going to appraise.
Okay.
Whereas this may be 3 weeks later, and there's 1 or 2 closings that occurred. Said, Mr. Listing Agent, and let your seller know we've got some comparable sales now that, in our opinion, hopefully your seller would agree, would justify, you know, appraisal
Right.
justify that.
You can
It
get
depends on who the appraiser is.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense? So not routinely, but I submit on CMA only in those cases where, particularly the competing offer situation, and you have some, many times the buyer has a wherewithal, a desire to go above a true full price, listing price offer, and but even then, it protects the buyer and seller. You know, that one with 30 written offers, the highest offers were in the 50 to 60 $50,000 to $60,000 higher than, the lowest offer is $100 above full list price. That was the first offer submitted. And the best offer, when I presented, lucky, trust you, with the pros and cons of each of the 30 offers, I had already prepared. I had this stack as the highest priority, and these are the reasons why you should consider it our review. This is the middle ground, and these are, there's no way to appraise. Now, $50,000, there's no way to appraise with a THDA loan, putting $100 earnest money, asking you to pay all the closing costs, showing buyer, and one agent checking, waiving the right of appraisal. It's a government loan. There's no way that can happen. So you may want to consider these. Does that help? All right. So not all CMAs have to submit.
Okay.
But you see the reason why in some cases, and that's all. Okay. Any questions? Now I'd like to go ahead and have you 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. You can help me observe it.
I don't know, it's been a while.
Oh, would you rather be a participant?
Yeah, I'd rather be a participant.
Okay.
You want me to observe?
You need to leave anyway? Okay. There's an equal number and I'll float. Why don't you go ahead and choose 2 to get together now and say what might be helpful. Person like Brennan, Janice.
I'm gonna help Brennan.
Yeah, I would say because you're just now getting your license or just past the PSI, be the buyer. The agent is one
You're gonna be that agent.
put forth in a challenging mode. Does that make sense? All you have to do is kind of, and buyers kind of stick with the data in the scenario. Don't throw some really curveballs. Stay on task, if you will. Because there's enough challenge, I think, for a learning experience. And then later on, you could even consider rotating after lunch. Or if somebody has to leave, after that too, we'll see what we have left. So, does that make sense? So, you're going to be helping as an observer or working as a...
I'm gonna work as the buyer and let him be the agent.
Okay.
And then,
Well, that's going to be the challenge. Are you ready to try your shot at that? Well, good.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, being an agent is the better way to learn. So, and it's better to learn. By the way, 3 key principles. Those of you that are giving feedback as the buyer, and I'll be floating to give some feedback on what I can hear. Maintain or enhance a person's self-esteem. Key principle number 1. Maintain or enhance a person's self-esteem. If a person really fumbled, don't say you dumb. Everybody has, this is, you did this really well. It was really clear. Thank you for clarifying what prepays are. I was a little confused still with your explanation. You might want to consider an alternate way of explaining that. Listen, make some notes. And we came to the certain part of the offer prep, and you were still a little confused. I noticed that you weren't as fluent as you might want to work on that. You see what I'm saying? And listen and respond with empathy. You understand that is a difficult thing to understand, really, how to present that kind of explanation. And then lastly, offer your suggestions. Being proactive, problem solving. Does that make sense? All right. And by the way, if you would like, most of you probably would choose to use that one I went through, the one-on-one skill practice 101. If anybody wants to have a really challenge with a 200 level scenario, I'll pass it out now. And then even more challenging, it's not a 400 level, but even a 300 level, the one with the 4 offers previously written, multiple offers. Yeah, let him go on the first one.
Right. No, I was just gonna say.
And by the way, I would ask you, if anybody needs to leave before we get done completely, maybe if the person that you're working with would be willing to rotate with you at a separate time to meet with and give the other person a chance. Does that work well? And you and I can kind of work together.
See, we'll let you get the reports and then we'll see what. We'll go back.
I can do it. I mean, it's up
Just straight up.
That's the reason.
No.
I'll be the buyer.
This is not scary stuff, I promise, that's lucky.
You've already got it.
I'm not scared. I'm just like this is like this thing. It's a bit different. It's a real thing. I feel like you want to start.
Dude, even the real thing, like, you become so accustomed to it, it's not bad. Alright.
I'm about.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was about to say, we'll sit right over here. Go ahead and sit down.
They're right here. Lucky they're right here.
All right.
I'll get some more. I'll just ask.
Hey, thank you, appreciate it.
Alright, let's go ahead. We're just gonna do it by
Yeah, I think they get more advanced.
Okay, alright. Okay, and then there's okay, we're already sure. Who would you want to go check? Okay. Joe, and Judy. Yeah, that's the I should have thought of that. How about that? I know you're We're assuming that.
By the way, Michael, is that turned off?
Thank you, Lexi.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Alright, let's do one.
Yeah.